Hello, 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 hello. Oh, that's nice. That's cute. That's sweet that we're starting off with head pats. You know, I'll take that. I will take that. Also, let's play different music. There we go. Oh, a little bit more of a groove. Let's get into it. How is everybody doing today? Before I can start reading all of the chat, because I know, don't bonk me. Don't bonk me. First, welcome all you new followers. People coming in from the TikToks, from the YouTubes, from the, well, nobody's coming from Instagram, let's be honest. Nobody's coming from Instagram. But to everybody, one second, let me recalibrate here. Recalibrating. Nope. There we are. Okay, so hello, everybody. Exactly. We have the TikToks. We have some from the YouTubes. No one's coming from Instagram. Nobody ever comes from Instagram because I don't understand what Instagram wants. YouTube likes me. TikTok loves me. Twitter is kind of indifferent. But Instagram's just like, no. No, you get 3 people who see your stuff, and only 3. You came from... Really? Okay. Maybe, oh man, the comments I've got on Instagram, the worst I got on TikTok was somebody saying, hey, am I going to be like a museum piece, or are we going to actually do something? Which was kind of weird. Instagram, somebody went through every single one of my posts and said, hey, can we doink? I'm like, you know what? Gucci, thank you. Well, good. I'm glad I'm showing up on your Insta. Insta's a bit, it is what it is. I might need to start making posts dedicated Insta, but hello. I wish it was, Neeks. Hello, all you lovely new peoples. Welcome to the menagerie. You're now little voidies or voidlings. Dwarf, thank you for getting 3rd and checking in. Neeks, thank you for getting 1st. And Pink, thank you for getting 2nd. Proving once again that my voidlings, the Twitch chat, can't count. Because you got every number in the wrong place. Every number in the wrong place. So close. And of course, as we do every stream, I'm going to say hi to every single person who's checked in. So give me a little bit of time here. It's going to take a little while. There's a lot of people who are checking in now. Hello, Catherine and Neeks and Naptime. Hello, Lachlan and Macaroni. Hello, Pandragon and Pink and Dwarf. Hello, Ocean and Yoshihiko, Asuka, Chanel or Channel. Hello, Fullmetal Brookie. Hello, Brisk. Hello, Boku. Hello, Onyx. Hello, Nila, or Leah, or Nee. We'll figure out which one it is. Or Nee3 Leah. I'm assuming it's an E. Hello, Savvy Addy, or just Addy for short. Hello, Kira. Hello, Kitty. Hello, Carmia. Hello, Annabelle. Hello, Red Moon. Hello, Blue Valley Lilies. Hello, Misty. Hello, Jean. Hello. Hello, Misty Harvest again for the hydrate. Cheers, cheers, cheers. I'm having a little wine before we start up. Hello, Lunar. Thank you for the follow, Dark Leopard. Hello, Pandragon. Thank you for the head pats. Thank you for the check-in, Tequila Sunshine. How dare you bonk me, Boku? For Onyx, ooh. Thank you so much for the Wadim that I absolutely hate and will eventually one day get rid of. Hello, Jay. Hello, Dark Leopard again. Hello, Jinxie. Hello, Jinxie V. Nice stream earlier. Hello, True Grave. And hello, Pebbles. And for you, Onyx. Da-da-da. Yes. Now, you may notice that we don't have TTS on. We are going to be doing a shared chat. So I don't think TTS is really going to work. And it's going to be more confusing than anything else for the shared chat we'll be doing. But that's going to be later. For right now, we'll just hang out here and vibe. Oh, but I do need to add the 2 other redeems that y'all wanted to gamble. So, yeah. I guess you're allowed to keep them. At least we won't be in jail for once. Oh, really? Oh, really? I mean, you could have not said anything and everything would have gone by normal. I wouldn't have thought about it at all. But somebody very much enjoys it. So, well, you know how it goes. You know what I have to do now. No, give me a second. But yes, we will eventually be on TikTok as well. TikTok streaming. Oh no, chat, I'm your height now. Look at that. Look how do you all manage to see and function at this height? That's... Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Anyways. There we go. Good. Don't forget, stay in the cage. I know, right? I mean, like, if I... You're just... Help! I can't reach food on high shelves! I can't reach the door to the fridge! That's why y'all so small. Because you couldn't eat enough as children. Not my fault. Blame your parents for not making more height-accommodable buildings. But yeah. And you know why short people are so mean? Because they're closer to heck. That's where Satan is. Jinxie, I don't care how tall you are, you're short in my eyes. Anything below 6'4"? Short. 6'4" is the average height in my world. So don't anger you? Oh, you're short, you're already angry, it's fine. I don't have to try, it's just gonna happen. Yes, I am a talking tree. All right, sorry, I got it. Thank you for the bits. Holy crap, Leopard. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't notice. Thank you. One day I'll get that redeem fix, but I really appreciate it. And hello, angelic teardrops. Welcome to the menagerie. I have scoliosis. Ooh, that kind of sounds like a personal problem. I'm gonna be honest. And I mean, what are you gonna do? Fight me while you're inside the cage? Shame? I'm sorry. I don't know what's in with me. What's in me today? Chat, what's in me? What's in me? But because you're all so nice and lovely and amazing, I will be lowering the price of standard bonk. Actually, no, we're gonna leave it up higher. I will be activating the throw things at me bonk. We're leaving Can You Say activated. It'll be available for 2 per person. And I'm going to leave pummel, nerdy voice, whiny voice. And there we go. But I also have to, you have to give me a second so I can pull out my TITSs. It's true, I am too big for the cage. Thank you for the check-in, Silva Fang Rose. I'm pulling out my teats. Give me a second. There it is. Titch's integrated throwing system. Oh, why is it off again? Locked. Okay. And lastly, Nana. Pummel him until he shrinks. Don't do that. That's awful. Why would you do that? Why would you? Ah! What the heck? No. Mean. No. Oh. This is awkward. All right, well, I'm going to see if I can let you all out of the cage now that we're at the same height and I can't be heightest anymore. Give me a second. How do you walk with these short legs? This is awful. Okay, well, sorry. I'm coming. Okay. Guys, I can't reach the lever anymore. It's too high. So, unfortunately, I think you're all gonna starve in there. Yeah, it's too bad. It's fine. Y'all, a stepping stool. Oh, perfect. I'll see if I can find one. Give me a second. Okay, I'll be right back. Don't set anything on fire. Look, I'm looking for a step stool to let you out, okay? I got stilts. I'm tall again. That's all that matters now. Now that I'm tall, I can be back to being tallest. Have you all seen Invader Zim, by the way? This is very important to me. Have you seen Invader Zim? Thank you for the check-in, Lavender Kitty. Welcome, welcome. And hello, Spell. Thank you for the check-in. Invader Zim. Do you know what they call their rulers? Tallest. They're the tallest. That's the term, because they're the tall aliens, so they're called the tallest. But it sounds like some fancy name. It took me a year after the shows came out, at least, to be like, oh, they're saying tallest. They're the tallest. Yep. Almighty tallest of the Urkin Empire. Proof? Okay, give me a second. Here, 1 second. That's Minecraft. Don't worry about Minecraft. Well, bam. The Almighty Tallest are one of 2 main antagonists, along with Dib Membrane, of the Nickelodeon animated Invader Zim franchise, serving as one of the 3 main antagonists. They are leaders of the Urkin Empire. As the name suggests, they are the tallest known Urkins alive, and they have virtually absolute power, besides the control brains. The Urkin Empire has a hierarchical class structure in which the shorter individuals are both figuratively and literally looked down upon. The tallest Urkin alive at the time of a specific generation takes command of the entirety of the Empire. However, in the event that the 2 Urkins are exactly the same height, they'll rule simultaneously, such as the case with Red and Purple. The reason why Zim is so low on the totem pole is because he's so short. Literally, he is treated the worst because he is the shortest, or one of the shortest. I think he's like the 2nd shortest. So yeah. And I'm the tallest. I'm 6'4", so get wrecked. Get wrecked, shit. Heightism was a big concern. Oh, thank you for the bits. Thank you, Leopard. Thank you, 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 thank you. Almighty tallest. But yes, so in about 10 minutes, we're going to be starting with the COLLAB stream. I just wanted to, warm you all up like we always do. We're going to be doing a joint chat, okay? So remember, behave yourself. Focus on everybody who's there, not just me, as much as I love you all so very much, and I am the most important person, and I should be the most important person. Why do you not worship me yet? But yes, we'll take you all over there. We'll hang out with everybody. We're playing with... let me make sure that I have their name pronounced properly. We have, oh, of course I'm in streamer mode, so I can't see how they spell it. But Keida, and we have a new person who I have not played with before. Keidacat, there we go, thank you, Keida. And the other person I've not played with before, but we're gonna go say hi to them right about, so give it like 3 more minutes and that should be good. No violence. I mean, you can bonk me all you want. Bonking me is fine, just so you know. Oh, hi, Lacey. It's been a while. How you doing, sweetie? And here, let me actually do the one is not on Twitch, so we're not going to be able to at them. They're on YouTube. But yeah, Keidacat. There we go. It's been a long time. Hope you've been okay, Lacey. Yeah. My bottle cap. Help. There it is. Okay. And we are going to be... Oh, what's the game called? Shoot. Zort? Zort. It is Zort. I've been doing amazing in this 90-degree weather. That sounds awful. That sounds absolutely awful. Okay. Okay. I wonder. I think... Ah! Scared the crap out of me. All right, give me a second. Well, I think I need to pull up the Twitch website. Let's see if we can get that notifications, the channel. Ah! Why? Why are you doing? No, not again. I just got tall again. This is awful. Let me. Okay, give me a second. We're just gonna. I'm just gonna will myself larger, okay? 1, 2. Oh, too tall. You know what? This isn't bad. I'll take this. There we go. Okay. Yes. I'm gonna pause the music while I go head over there to talk to them, and we'll get the thing set up. I'm just messaging them to see what they say. Okay. Oh, is she over there? Is she streaming right now? Wait. Oh. Hello. Oh, let me make sure they can actually hear you. 1 second. Mamba. Sweet. Chat, remember, behave yourself. Okay, can you speak?
Yes, I can. Hello.
Yes.
All right.
Hello.
Y'all can hear them all right?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you fine. I'm just seeing if chat can.
Oh. Hi, chat.
I'm seeing. Yep.
Perfect. Okay, amazing. And you're gonna send me the thing.
Yes, I did.
Oh, right. I have to be on the website, don't I?
Yes.
There's no like music volume. It's just master and voice.
All right, chat. Say hi.
I guess so.
Remember, chat. Behave yourself.
People are confused at the merged chat.
Done. Perfect.
Okay.
Good. And I've pushed to talk on in Discord, so I don't,
All right.
whatever words. Okay. It's gonna be a lot of fun, lovelies. I hope you all have a good time.
Hold on.
Wait. Okay, chat.
Here we go.
I want y'all just to say what your favorite color is right now and confuse everybody because they can't hear me. So just everybody only say one color and say your one favorite color. Go. What's going on in chat? Oh, they're muted. I don't know if they I don't know if they know what's going on. Hopefully they have no clue. Ow, is going on. Yes, we succeeded. Awesome, amazing. Love you all. Oh, okay, we're muted over here. I guess the guys are doing things. I'll just vibe here. Do-do. Black and red best
I was
color.
just confirming Anki's mic works in game.
I should
you
probably
invite to
launch
the game too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh. Wait, but I thought we weren't using the in-game mic yet.
I thought we were trying it for a round and then swapping if we didn't like it. Up to you guys though.
Okay, yeah, we'll try it for a round. Sweet. So chat was just spamming colors. Is that what's happening?
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, don't worry about that. It's fine. Oh, and you don't want to mute. You want to turn the volume down of the other two people so the reactive still works.
Yeah.
What up? Okay. Chat lovelies. Oh, why are they off the screen? There's that. And we got to get the game going. Chat, I am so prepared, aren't I? I was prepared, and then I wasn't. Oh, I still have. I have a Happy Meal I haven't fully eaten yet. Zort. The wine is delicious with my Happy Meal. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
What kind,
And yes, I have a
like
Tide
Burger
Pod.
King or McDonald's?
McDonald's. That's
McDonald's
the
Happy
only
Meal.
one that is Happy Meal.
They've got a Happy Meal and white wine over there.
Yes, I do. I have Chardonnay, actually. Thank you. Oh, is there not a... Can I turn off full screen?
Living
Please,
your
please.
Monopoly life.
Please, let me turn off full screen. Please, 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 please. Yes! Haha! Okay.
Quiet.
What toy did I get?
Might need to turn up the volume of us in game. Gene.
Oh, right. I have to turn up the game.
It is proximity based.
Gotcha. Okay, now, look at me. Look at me.
Yes. Hello.
Nerd. Okay. Oh, is there push to mute in game? Should I? Push to mute, push to mute, push to mute, push to mute. Voice activation.
Technically a Tide Pod cat, but.
Ow! People are throwing stuff at me. Push to talk, or am I push to
I'm gonna
mute?
go ahead and swap to my actual live scene now.
Talk. Wait. Yeah, go
Hi,
ahead.
Jma. Hi, everyone.
Oh,
Are we ready for Zort?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm starting my stream in like 10 minutes though, because
Ooh, yeah.
Okay,
We
give me
probably
one
need a
less.
little bit. We do have some funny things in Spawn to show you guys. I swear, your legs look broken when you do that.
do bop, just do 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 do
So
bop.
bad.
Dancing, I'm dancing, Ma, I'm dancing.
That is certainly a way to dance.
Okay, wait. So
I
there's.
was taught.
Can y'all hear me
Have you
right
noticed
now?
The emotes, Aniki?
No, you can't hear me, can you?
Am I doing it?
Okay.
You gotta do Alt and then the
Oh.
number.
Oh,
There's
oh,
no
oh, I see.
customization for the push to talk button.
Yeah, it's just V, right?
There's not. It is just V or just always on, and I just have mine always on at this
Oh.
point.
I was looking for it, and I'm like, where's this thing? And it's like, no. You don't get to see any controls. Why would we give you controls? Okay.
To be fair, they literally put them on whiteboards over here. You didn't
I know,
notice,
but
that's on you.
what if I had no V button, huh? What if my V was the button I use to keep my life support going? You don't know. I might have a weird setup. Why are you twerking?
I don't know. It puts you in like it gives me like letterboxing when I'm twerking, and it's like kind of cinematic.
Reading is hard. All right.
I will give you that. Reading is hard. Oh, and now we've got both of them twerking. Absolute chaos already.
Yes.
Also, what difficulty do you guys want to start on?
The hard one.
Yeah, what do we have?
We've got easy, normal, hard, and nightmare. I've
Uh-huh.
done the first level on like all of them, and I can
Okay.
tell you, if we try nightmare, we're not winning.
All right, I got it. Let's do
I'd say normal or hard.
I
don't
think
know
we
if you
should
just
do.
Let go of push and talk.
I think
I'll
anything
join, guys.
above normal because you've already played, so that way it's just a little bit more
Okay.
fair.
Okay, so we're gonna go with.
How many times can you get away with that joke? That's the question.
Until you call me out for it, apparently.
We already did. You can't do it yet. It was still funny.
I think see. I'm glad you think I'm funny. I'm also glad that the fridge has a glowing evil light around it at no matter what angle you look at it. That's just horrifyingly bright.
Not
Whoa.
every angle. You don't get it from this angle.
Oh,
if you
it
shove your
actually
head into
fades.
it,
It
it's
fades
not
at this
bright.
distance. Interesting. Very interesting.
It's
That's a
brighter from
nice
here than
booty
it is,
emote.
when you right into it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, let's go. What are we doing? What do I have to do? Oh, hard mode.
So, yeah, I've set it to hard mode currently. We're
Yes.
letting Aniki finish uploading a thing, so we're gonna just wander around the spawn a little bit, because
Oh,
Aniki
fun.
has not seen this.
Yeah, this is my first
let me
time.
go. Anger has won?
Try,
Oh,
like,
why are
getting
you
back over
angry?
here.
What is this?
I'm angry. Hangry.
That is a big snowball. You can hit it with other snowballs, and then it
All right, chat.
starts going.
Did you?
You look down and press E to pick up the snowball, and then you can toss it into it.
Oh. What color is?
And chat, they say that I can't jump. All right, here we go. Huh. Woo! Woohoo! Yeah! Oh, what are they doing?
I actually make a big snowball over here.
Time to go play more basketball. No, I guess you all probably want to see what they're doing, don't you? Okay, we'll watch them.
Something I'm hearing in game or not.
What are you hearing in game?
Weird beeping.
Beep beep beep
Weird
beep beep
beeping, but I couldn't
Beep,
tell
beep,
if it was in game or not.
beep beep beep. Was it me
Yeah, you're
winning?
gonna
Was
beep
it me doing the? Wait, did you hear beeping right now? Oh, do you hear it earlier when I made a goal?
Oh, that might have been it.
Yeah, I got
Oh.
a touchdown.
What's all this?
This is stuff that you unlock by completing all of the.
Chat,
the
watch me get a
chapters.
touchdown.
Well, I've
Wait,
just
what?
been.
Whoa, whoa.
We haven't unlocked it yet, but you
Touchdown!
What was that?
Home
How did you do
run!
that?
What, how did I hit you with a snowball?
Yeah, you made my vision go snowy.
Yeah, because I hit you with a snowball.
But you hit me before and it didn't do that.
I missed.
Woo!
Play the violin over here now. I don't want to get hit. Fight each other. All that possible. Let's all have plastic match.
Ah! Amazing. What are you uploading, by the way?
What is what?
What else can we do in here?
You're not gonna answer the question. What are you uploading?
Yeah, what are you uploading?
Oh, I'm uploading footage.
Not answer anything.
What is? How? Why? Huh?
What?
How do you upload footage? What are you uploading footage for?
Work.
Okay. Vibes. No.
Does Gene not normally commit violence? I know he has
It's almost
age
done.
for
I
everyone.
only have a gigabyte left to upload, and then it's done. So it's like less than 5 minutes.
Found the recorder. Oh, and the other one.
Wait.
You picked up all the instruments. I have the violin.
I am the instrument man.
Why? Let me.
I'm not committing violence.
Wait, can I punch this?
I do not know Silva.
It's a big ball.
It is.
All right.
If we can knock it off the map, it'll respawn and it's very
Can
funny.
I? Okay, wait. Can
Can
I?
we
We swap.
take this with us to the level?
To my knowledge, no. There is a level with them in it, though, which is why they're here.
Whoa. Hello?
You jumped up there? Yeah.
This song sucks.
So, Gene, are you going to be staying push to talk, or are you going to be swapping to the voice activated?
Probably push it up.
And if you found the ball. Why does the ball look like a PNG? I just realized that.
Wait, it does?
Yeah. Like, it straight does not... It doesn't have, like, the proper shading and stuff, it feels like.
How do I... There we go.
I'm so proud of you. You made it.
Woo!
I don't know how to drop an instrument. How do I drop it?
I don't know. I've forgotten the button to drop.
Found it.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, it's tab and then frickin' G.
And now we can go. Now I got this.
And if you pick up one of the instruments,
Okay, which one do you guys got?
well, there's two on the ground here, so you can either pick up the
Okay.
recorder or the accordion. Such a talented
Amazing.
group we are.
Jeez.
Sing for us, Cat.
No, no. I am not there yet.
Is there a song to this?
This is the song. As far as I'm aware, there are no lyrics.
How lame. You should have the lyrics. Write lyrics for it. I believe in you. You can do it.
Oh. And if you can give it a try if you want.
Maybe. I don't know. I'll think about it.
Alright. It will come up again, I can tell you that now.
So how did you drop this?
G.
Gotcha. Okay.
How much time we got left in your upload?
Half a gigabyte.
I don't know how long that takes you.
Like 2 minutes maybe?
Okay. Then let's run back to the thingy, and I can
Okay.
give you guys a rundown of what the chapters are. And that's he.
Is there a run button?
Yes,
No,
it
there's a
is.
crouch button.
Is it not shift? Oh, I guess you don't have run in this one. I don't know. I just never paid attention to that. So yeah,
Damn
you
it.
have frickin' Five Nights at Freddy's or
Okay.
Poppy Playtime. That's the first one.
Okay.
And then you've got that killer car for the second one.
Okay.
And the third one is Pirates.
Okay. And there's a new one, right?
Third one is the new one. Third one is one
Oh,
I've not played.
Okay. Seagate,
So it has
Deep
pirates.
Ocean.
Yeah.
Ooh, spooky.
Be pirates.
Wait, why can I buy stuff?
Because you can buy stuff.
Can we take it with us?
No, you buy stuff there as well. But it lets
You had to
flesh
get
it
that
out.
one. Oh my god.
This one actually is, like, you have to know how to use it. Here, I'll drop this one so that you can learn how to use an air horn. And then... It's also flashlight.
Wait, so what's special about an air horn?
You will see in the next level. Because that air horn is very useful.
Okay.
It's
if you
useful
say
in
so.
both of the first
If
two
you say
levels.
so, boss.
Use it
If you
for
say so,
different
boss.
things. I will be trying not to say too much for how things work and letting you guys figure it out a little bit, because it's not that difficult.
You know, a quick question. How come we have, like, air horn shaped faces, but we're not air horns?
Well, that's because we're pea shooters. I have no idea if we're actually pea shooters, we just really look like pea shooters.
That's the
Yeah, it is absolutely pea shooters.
that's the Plants vs. Zombie thing, right?
Yeah. So I'm surprised neither of you mentioned the toilets.
Wait, there's toilets?
Yes, there is toilets. But I mean, look at the toilets.
Wait,
Cooperative
is there
pooping.
poop?
Yeah, cooperative pooping, or competitive, depending on how competitive you are.
Oh, right.
And we
You
can
can
hear
hear me
Gene
now.
sometimes. Oh, when he pushes shocks.
No. I had myself muted for my stream. I was typing.
Where
E.
are the toilets?
Anakin.
Oh.
Why would you lip read? That's crazy. Wait, had you just not seen the toilets the entire time?
Yeah, you're not.
No.
I just kind of accepted them there. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
There we go. Just
Alright.
why?
Why?
Emotional support pooping. No. What is this thing again? I don't even remember what this. Plays music. I remember most of these monsters. But Oh, right, I remember that one now. Oh, hydrate, okay. Great reminder for everyone else, too.
There we go. Yes. Hey, for the check-in paranormal, Dove, how you doing? I'm winning. Oh. That is... There we go. There we go. We got this. We got this. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
I'll just move that there.
Ow.
Let's see what's going on with that.
Hydrate. So, Anarchy, speaking of things that you didn't notice,
Yes.
did you notice the cat?
Here we go. Okay.
Is it Jesus?
It's wearing a Santa hat! You're asking if it's Jesus.
Well, it
I have
looked
the
like,
skills,
it
I have the
looked
skills,
like
look
that,
at this.
thorn thing.
Look at my skills.
No, it's a Santa hat.
Okay. That's interesting.
I'm gonna do this. I need to land one. Once I land one, I'm happy.
Why is this,
Hi, princess.
Cat, can you step in front of me real quick? I'm trying to figure something in.
Yes.
Why it looks fine.
Having difficulties?
Oh,
Yeah,
these
it's making my
are
footage,
we're
like-
collabing. We're collabing
well, not my
today.
footage. It's making my capture of the game look
Kinda.
like square,
And I don't know
but not really.
the other name actually.
Odd.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
But yeah, we're doing a collab right now.
I heard we are playing with Anarchy and with LuckyJene today.
Anarchy,
hello.
Anarchy. Yeah.
Gina's over there playing
I'm here, yep.
games. And he's fixing his stuff currently.
Well, you know what? Is there like a filter? No, there's no filter. It's just square for some reason.
Yeah, these games are broken.
Are they broken?
No, this one works now. It's the only one that actually works.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Play capture.
And
Okay, there.
gotta do it again.
Cat,
Oh, it breaks so easily.
can you come over and talk?
That game
for a
breaks too easily. That's disappointing.
Hang on.
No, 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 no,
Yes,
no,
what's up?
no, no, no. No, 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 no.
second? Okay, I think I'm good.
Why are you hitting people with balls?
Yay!
Why is this not, Oh, because I'm clicking the wrong button.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ain't he cute? I like him. They're all cute.
Just the old monster's cute, or this guy?
Yeah, no, they're all cute. All the monsters are cute. Look how cute they are.
I mean, if you're into the giant, sure.
That's just a normal foot with 4 toes. Actually, no, I don't like it because it only has 4 toes.
Oh.
Y'all are cute. No, you're cute.
Okay, I figured.
Checked off that hydrate. You're cute, Pebble. Get Anarchy?
Yeah, I'm good. Let's
Exactly. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you for the subscription. What the heck? Thank you,
Let's do
Lunar
this.
Rain. Welcome. I really,
All right,
really appreciate it.
everyone.
How you doing? Welcome to the menagerie. All right, let's do it.
Let the thing play. It's very Poppy playtime.
Oh, 100%. Oh wait, this is like the beginning of. This is exactly Poppy's playtime.
This game is the meme horror game.
All right, Chad, it's time for memes. Let's go.
Alright, who wants to watch some TV?
Me,
Let me just
I
pick up the air
guess.
horn over here. You guys might want to pick up the air horn.
Do Do I need an air horn to watch TV?
You'll need an air horn later.
Love it. Okay. TV time.
Good.
Rice, spice, tomato paste. Pomegranate.
Pomegranate molasses.
Oh. Is that Huggy Wuggy?
It is distinctly different from Huggy Wuggy.
What the heck?
Yeah. Does that explain one of the monsters? Now we have to figure out how to get past these gates.
Can we jump? No.
I mean, we can, but not that high.
Can I open a door?
What if I glitch through it? I got this. I can glitch through this.
What's this?
I'm gonna glitch through it.
If you notice, it says don't make loud. Uh-huh. Hang on, we didn't turn it on.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
The sound detector. I'm here to keep you safe. If things get too loud,
Zorto?
I'll give you a little warning.
All right,
But
I'm ready.
Don't worry, I'm just looking out for you. So, let's keep it a bit quieter.
So ho ho.
Noise detected. Please be quiet in this area.
So now we can take flashlight.
Oh,
Who wants to do the full lever?
hello. So, huh? Oh,
Pull the
don't,
lever,
yeah.
pull the lever.
Nothing. I'm just totally not looking at the computer. It's fine.
Wait, was there stuff on it?
Don't worry about it. No, there's nothing over there. There's nothing over there.
Whoa!
Have you guys figured out how to get through there yet?
I refuse.
Oh.
I have a Rubik's Cube.
Oh, what's this?
Oh, you found the thing that gives you an extra life. Well, it raises one of your friends, specifically.
I have a Rubik's Cube.
Jesus, what is that?
A fake thing.
Why?
Ah.
There's Slenderman over there.
Why did you put the Slenderman?
The flashlight. Is this one real?
Solve the cube. I refuse.
Noise detected. Please be quiet in this area.
I will not solve Rubik's Cubes. I refuse.
Is this money?
The Rubik's Cubes give you sanity.
Can I take this?
Yeah.
That's called a stealing. I'm gonna report you to HR.
Zoran? What's Zoran?
Also, there's thing over here.
Here's the thing.
What would you do with this?
There's
what,
the
what should you
thing
not
we
do?
jump in, thing we go.
Oh,
Ah!
June's dead.
I was just about to do that.
Jedi died.
Can we res him?
No, we can. Let me quickly check his stream for a second and see if he made it to the back rooms or not. No, okay, he is just.
Oh my god, oh my god, what are these? What are these? What are these? What are these?
Ah, you have
What
found
are
the
these?
mimics. Hang on, I'm gonna res Gene. There we go.
Stay away from me.
Wait, so if I jump
Stay
down the
away from
hole,
me.
I would. Would I normally have
In this area.
Can I go to the back rooms if I jump down the hole enough?
No, you can occasionally go to the back rooms if you die.
Gotcha. So I should keep killing myself until I reach
No,
the
you
back
should
room.
not.
Kill myself to. Chat, you hear that?
No.
Noise detected. Please be quiet in this area.
Already healthy. Wait, I swear I have low sanity, just based on the number of things I'm seeing.
Why were those guys circling me?
Because
they're
you
mimics.
said they're
They're
their
the
favorite
skinwalkers.
word was mentioned. The back rooms. Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Alright, I'm gonna put down that note. Oh, shoot, don't use that yet. That's the extra life.
What was that?
Hey, look,
So-
I'm alive again.
I don't even know who said that out of the several people here.
What?
But yeah,
I'm alive.
if you use it, if you use the thing to res someone when someone's not dead, it pulls out another skinwalker.
Oh.
I rezzed
okay.
myself
But is
twice.
it- I don't like what? Who has the Rubik's Cube?
I have the Rubik's Cube.
What? Okay. Forgot the. Why is it Rubik's Cube? It's so freaky.
The skinwalkers in this game are really well programmed. They just move like players.
Hey, I see money.
But the ID card is going to be one of our best friends for determining who's who, because the skinwalkers don't have ID cards.
There's some moldy donuts over here. Is that important?
I don't think so. I think I'm going to put down this.
Oh God, he's breathing something. What is that?
What?
Something grew out of him.
I have never seen them do that. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It was a big red thing grew out of his spine.
I have never.
What's going on?
seen
I'm like tripping
that.
balls. Are you guys tripping balls?
Hey, pick up a Rubik's Cube and solve it.
Hey, what's that? Oh.
You're starting to see stuff. Solve a Rubik's Cube.
Why does this do this?
Because
do I need to
puzzles
fully
help
solve
with
it, or is
sanity.
it just
no,
like-
No, so
Oh, look,
each
another
time you use
skinwalker.
it increases your sanity.
Oh, gotcha.
Don't waste the extra lives. We're going to actually encounter monsters in a little bit. We just haven't even gotten that far yet.
But I want a friend.
Gotcha.
No, come on.
Ah! I'm in the back rooms. Help! Help! Oh my! It's all the. Okay. I mean, you can't blame me. You can't blame me that we weren't doing anything. I have to do things. Ah! 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 Ah!
He's getting low.
Start seeing stuff.
They blew up my head.
Oh, I will say,
Where are we going?
I don't know. Where are we going?
I have no idea.
I think you come back over here.
Can somebody tell her I died in the back rooms?
And
What's bounty?
Nikki. Oh, where are we going?
Here.
Just,
We push the button?
that might be an idea.
Push the button.
Wait, they don't think that's me, do they?
I gotta wait for you. Oh my god, I can't move.
Wait, do they think that's me?
Push the button.
They don't think it's me, do they?
All right, thank you for head bats.
Oh my god, no way! This just goes great!
Now we have an enemy.
Oh.
Try and stay near you guys.
Oh, this is so great.
We need a drill? And Zordy?
Already is the drill.
It's so great.
Oh, that's repeating.
So I slipped out, and they don't know.
Gonna
They don't
shuffle
know.
us over this way.
Oh, this is the
Not
best.
tell you
I
what
give
to
it time,
do.
everybody.
This is direction. Oh, and now there's two of them over there.
Oh, hey. I need a key. Who's Jimmy?
Hello, new people. Hi.
We need a
How you
key.
doing, Poppy? I'm dead right now. We're collabing with some people right now. Say hi to them.
Here.
And they're very cool.
Let me just open that up.
They think I'm in the game still, I
Oh.
think.
Ooh, money.
Hydrating.
What's this? Why is this glowing? Is that good or bad?
Flexible.
Oh, hey.
Flexible. Oh, wait. Duck, run away. Get away. Get out of here.
That is how I would act. Yeah.
You have to know how to deal with that guy.
He's still traveling with them. It's just
Guy
the
does not
worst.
like loud noises.
Because
we
I
need
had
a
push to
key.
talk on
We
before,
need
they
Jimmy's
expect me not
key.
to talk. This is so stupid.
Did you read the note properly?
Slenderman, don't look.
I refuse to tell them though.
The note from Jimmy, password is my high score.
Wait, what?
Note from Jimmy, password
Oh.
is my high score.
What game is that?
It's on one of them. Jimmy has a high score.
Red and blue.
See how long it takes them? Okay. Okay, chat, we're starting a timer now. Alexa, start a timer. No, Alexa, do a stopwatch. Alexa, stopwatch start.
Space. 52005?
Is that
Where
Jimmy's
do
or
we-
is that just a high score?
Okay.
No, it said Jimmy.
All right. So here's what's happening,
It
by the
said
way.
Jimmy, 52005.
Not making a single noise. Running around in circles. And they're like, yeah, that's normal. This is totally Gene behavior. And they're like,
Oh god.
where's
I hate
Gene?
this.
But nobody's ever asked where Gene is.
5.
Shoot, my inventory's full.
I swore I died right in front of her, and she did not see it. No, here I come. And they assume that's normal behavior.
Five. Last one's 5.
I mean, to be fair, this is our first collab together, so I can tell they don't know me yet. But like,
Has Gene jumped in a hole again?
What are those?
My friends.
What the heck?
They're my friends.
I want to come
Are
back.
they calling you Mama Neko?
Yes.
Well, that's weird. Even the follow. Welcome.
Get me out of here.
Okay. I do think it's funny this one guy, though, is still just hanging out with them.
There's another collectible back here.
This whole time.
I hate them. I hate them so much.
Do I need to get rid of them? Oh shoot.
It's up to you.
Get away.
They're your children.
Get out of here.
Mama Neko.
Wow. Wow.
So the Gene analog, by the way, ran up to them and twerked. And they thought that of me. They thought that's what me's doing, is running up and twerking.
So did we get thingy?
Yeah, I got the key.
Alright, hang on. Before we do that, let me go track down a thing. Yep, hang on. I don't really need a flashlight, so I can drop that. Where's what I actually need? Hang on. Where? Here. Okay. So, you guys might want a bowling ball.
A bowling ball.
Bowling ball. Here, you can
She's
take this one.
she's talking to him like it's me, like she's explaining the game to me. I hate
We're in the bowling alley. Gas can. There we go. Now go to the gas can.
Oh, by the way, I turned on arachnophobia mode, chat, so none of these things that would be spiders are spiders.
What?
Stop following me.
Alright, so, Anarchy, do you want to go to the door?
That's fair. They don't know.
Go to the door?
They don't know.
I can't hear you over these guys.
Alright, I will drop the thing. Hang on.
Fine.
They will now take him and just return him to his place. Now, I need a Rubik's Cube if I can find one. Hang on.
What the heck? Ah! I want a Rubik's Cube. 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 I want a Rubik's Cube.
I found one over here. Wait, that's not one. Don't take this one.
They refuse to return me to life, chat. Help!
The guy. Oh, Gene is dead. All right, resing Gene.
God.
You good now, Gene?
That wasn't me.
My God.
What the heck? Why am I not back?
Where are we going? Hello?
Hang on, I'm still trying to get a Rubik's Cube for myself.
Hey, where are you? Oh, there you are.
Yeah, hang on, I'm solving a Rubik's Cube.
Is that why those guys are there?
Okay, wait, how is Gene still dead?
Please be quiet in this area.
Again. That work? Oh, wait, hang on. Gene died. Okay. Gene, you need to escape the back rooms. I don't think I can res you until you're out of the back rooms.
Yeah, I was wondering why he wasn't talking.
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Please be quiet in this area.
Jesus, I'm going
Am I just
crazy
dead
again. I'm going
forever?
Crazy again.
Hang on, do I have... Here, I have another one we could use. Rubik's Cube. I can find another
Oh
one
my
for
God,
myself.
what is going on?
So you can just escape the back rooms. You can run out of it. You just have to find the way out. Oh, you died in the back rooms. Shoot, I guess I'm just gonna keep trying to res you then, I guess. Is this a real one? Yes, it is.
I worked! What the heck? Why? First off, I sprinted at the monster and started twerking. You're like, yeah, no, that's Gene. That's Gene.
We've got to deal with this monster. I can't hear you very well over the air horns. There we go.
So I sprinted at a monster and started twerking, and you're like, yeah, no, that's Gene. And then I chased you all around, said nothing for 10 minutes and going like this, and you're like, yeah, that's Gene. Really?
Was I wrong?
Yes, I was dead. I've been dead for so long.
He's been dead. Like, he hasn't been talking.
Do you know when you resurrected me earlier? I immediately fell in the hole, like next to it. You're like, oh, we gotta go this direction. And I immediately accidentally stepped in the hole. So, I mean, like, lays down on the ground, starts twitching, and then doesn't talk.
Please be quiet in this area.
Alright, well, moving on.
You kept going up to the Skinwalker me and explaining things, and I'm like, I'm so glad I'm viewing you right now so I can learn here.
I feel like I'm going crazy because I feel like one of the mimics are mimicking Cat right now, and it's driving me insane.
Cat's over here.
I have no idea.
And you're there.
I've got the extra life. I am now the one holding my card.
Go for it.
Follow. Yes.
Okay.
Alright, now who has the
lovelies.
bowling ball?
I have a bowling ball.
Alright, Gene, get a bowling ball.
Please be quiet in
Where?
From the bowling alley.
I don't know where that is. I've been dead.
Right here.
Right there.
Oh, thank you.
The place I was
Bowling,
woo! No, you want to
Wait, do we
hold on to
bowl?
one
Strike!
of those. No, hold on to one, because you're going to want to knock a guy down with it. Oh shoot, we've got another guy here. Get out of here.
Hello, lovelies. How are you all doing? We're vibing.
You guys go to the
Vibing's
door
been
and
good.
prepare the bowling balls. You'll know when to use them.
Okay, do we need more than one bowling ball, or is one fine?
I'm lost.
He's gonna get back up. So, okay, wait, this door over here. I should have specified. This door over here.
This door,
Ah.
okay.
All right, you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, the one with the big button. Hang on.
I'm ready.
Give
Okay,
me, like,
put away
a
your bowling
minute,
ball.
Or less than a minute. I just need to go to the other space.
Hey, wouldn't you get short Keida? Look how tiny Keida got. They're so small.
Wait, are they getting tinier?
No, I think they're just crouching.
Oh my god, I hate how it mimics cat. That's so freaky.
Yeah, cat cross. Actually, no. Wait, no. That was me doing all those poses before, but that was the Skinwalker me doing all the poses. I don't think Cat's been doing any poses at all. You thought it was Cat?
Well, no, I hear it. You don't hear it. It's mimicking Cat's voice. It's like.
Oh, I hear nothing. No, there's no noises right now.
I don't know why you're hearing it talk, but I need you guys to press the button.
Oh, you didn't say press the button. We were waiting for you.
You pushed it.
Attention, an unexpected electrical problem occurred in our factory. Please don't.
Oh, there they are.
Attention, the unexpected electrical problem has been solved. You can continue to have fun with your family.
Where'd it go? Keida?
Noise detected. Please be quiet in your zone.
Oh!
Spectator Ganiki. Hang on. Can I not?
Stop.
Oh.
Head bobbing.
Oh, hi! How'd you
Judy
die?
got caught. I got caught. I was trying to be smart and get the thing out and then run over, but I got like frickin' T-boned by them.
He's got this. I believe in him.
I think he's finally noticed the enemy. Has he realized what to do? Yes, he has. Now, if he can figure out we're dead is the question.
I don't think he's got this.
I don't think he does either. I was trying not to give you guys the full answers.
That's
yeah,
fair.
hard mode does put 2 of them in place, so that is that is kind of the fun.
I have not been hearing them mimic anybody, except when I was in the back rooms. Have you been hearing them mimic anybody?
I've not heard them mimic anyone.
Do you think he hasn't used a Rubik's Cube in a while?
I don't know. I don't see him getting followed by stuff. Though he is definitely acting like he is a freaking Skinwalker.
Hi, Vanya.
Oh, he just used Rubik's Cube? That's good to know. He is easily frightened. I shouldn't say that. He is very overly cautious with that kind of stuff.
What is this? Let go of me.
He killed you. Oh,
he's in the
back rooms now.
Congratulations on being in the back rooms. Oh, yeah, and so I was in here, and then my head just exploded.
Hello?
I was back here, my head just exploded. I still don't know what happened.
The Skinwalker guys are apparently dangerous. I have never seen them actually be dangerous, but they apparently are.
You also
But he has
haven't
found the
seen them
exit.
grow a giant growth off of them yet.
Yeah.
It's like you and I are playing different games.
It feels like we're all playing different games, honestly. Just Anaki's over here hearing voices. You're seeing the Skinwalkers have growths. Aniki is playing tag. And losing.
Ow. Ow.
Nice
Welcome
try,
home.
Nice try.
What was...
So you guys were
Why didn't you come out of the door that you
again.
told us to stand at? I'm so confused.
Okay, so the door, you press the button, it triggers the thing that you have to go and fill the generator. So I went to fill the generator, and you were supposed to press the button again and go upstairs. I just got caught before I made it back.
Ah. Ashley
didn't
had to
know
aim
that.
us yesterday's stream.
I was hoping that I could make it back and explain it to you guys, and just to have you guys respond to, hey,
also-
there's suddenly monsters I haven't told you about.
Well, so I saw them briefly, but they immediately went after you and ignored us completely.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's the
oh, I
funny
thought they were
bit.
gonna like come at us or do something, but you know.
No, it's because I was over there filling the generator.
What is that?
I caught the boomerang.
How dare you? Stop it! Stop catching them! Ah!
Wait, so when you die,
You can go to the back rooms
The
potentially.
back rooms.
Not
you have to
always.
go pick your ID back up.
Well, actually, no. You spawn with an ID every time.
You drop
But
everything
when
else.
I came back, I didn't have an ID.
I think that's backroom specific then.
Oh,
You get rezzed, you get ID back.
gotcha. It was so confusing because like I was going to pick up that bowling ball like when I first got sent to the back rooms, and like it picked up an air horn inside the bowling ball instead.
Yeah, I think that's because that was one of the bowling balls from Gene's inventory. Because the items will just stack in a pile.
That makes a lot of sense.
Q, let's
do we
go
want to
back.
swap down to normal mode, or do we want to continue with hard mode?
I'm
I mean,
fine
how
either
far
way.
did we get?
We got like a little less than halfway, I think.
You know, I don't think it was that bad. I mean,
Yeah, let's
I
do
think
hard,
we
let's go.
were like on our way.
Yeah. All right. We'll just start again.
How's everybody doing, by the way? We're just checking in. Everybody doing okay? Everybody doing all right?
We'll skip
My
the
check.
thing this
Hope you're
time.
behaving yourself. Good.
If you guys hold space or
Play
whatever
fine.
it is for you.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a one size
Behave.
fits all.
Proud of you. Checking to make sure everybody's behaving.
I think they're behaving. I've been eyeing the chat.
Little friends,
Yeah.
I'm Zort.
Did you tell them that they stink yet?
I'm here to keep you safe.
Why would I say something like that?
Chat stinks always.
With you like a woman, but don't worry, I'm just looking out for you. So, let's keep it a bit quieter before continuing. Noise detected. Please be quiet.
It is worth noting that while the rabbit does not like noise, the other guy also does not like noise, but will chase you down for noise. So one of them runs away, one of them chases you down.
All right, let's do it.
Is that an actual gas can? It is. And then
Cheese tried to
where's
kill
an
me.
extra life?
All right.
Noise detected. Please be quiet and be silent.
Guys good?
All right, we have a resurrect.
No one dead?
We have a thing. I died, actually,
Okay.
but I survived.
Noise detected. Please be quiet and
Don't be digging caves with don't be digging stuff. Don't be digging.
I think it's because you picked up something that wasn't the thing.
I'm going crazy.
No one told me there's collectibles.
You tried to say it.
Noise detected. Please be quiet in this area.
You guys coming?
Got lost.
Alright.
I'm coming home, so you better
wanna
get
press
this
the button
party
this time, G?
started. Waiting for the other players.
Do it. Oh.
Yay, we broke it. Still alive, still alive.
I could have been through that.
Yeah, so could I.
On we go.
I like doors.
Anyone remember the password?
8. I wasn't here.
Alright, you want to try and find the password then?
Please be quiet in this area.
What you doing standing over here? Can you please?
Do that. I could do that.
Why to do what?
Nothing.
Alright.
I'm sorry, do
I
you have
forget.
your head pat has a better luck next time? You can fail at head patting?
That is for people who trigger it from the chat commands. The Twitch redeem always triggers it. That's so that people on the YouTube side can actually redeem it without having to do Twitch stuff.
Why does it say better luck next time?
Because it doesn't trigger on my model.
6,
It'll still do
9,
the chat
5,
command,
2,
but
8.
not anything else.
6, 9, 5, 2, 8. 6, 9, 5,
9,
2,
5, 2,
8. 6, 9, 5, 2, 8. 6, 9, 5, 2, 8. Six. Where do I put this?
He's coming.
All right, where were we? Ooh. Haha. Wait.
And he's done.
We have to see.
6, 5. Ah! 6, 5, 9, 2.
Did you get taken?
Gene has such a sexy voice, Cat. He's so, he sounds so good.
So cool.
Okay, 6, 5, 9, 2, 8, right? Did I write it down wrong?
Dude, just over here unaware that we were chasing off a monster.
I already chased off a monster.
Oh, shoot. Is the vertical one wrong? Oh, shoot. I'm sure it's the wrong vertical one entirely. How the heck did I manage that?
This one?
Yeah, which one am I even live at right
69528. 69528.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
now? Weird, I must have
9
scheduled
5
that
2
one
8.
wrong.
Huh? Did you put it in right?
I'm gonna quickly
it's
fix
open.
my stuff.
Proud of you. Oh, I swapped the numbers. Well, no one told me at the time. It wasn't. How dare you?
Let's tweak on that. I
Your
need to
inventory full.
thumbnail.
Oh, I mean,
I hear
yeah.
that.
You want the keys?
Do you want the keys?
No.
Well, I mean, I can do it. You want me to do it? I'll do it.
I got it. Wait, you got it. Go for it.
I did it last time, so I was just curious if you want to do anything.
Nah, you're allowed to do it. You can do it
we?
twice.
Is it over here?
Give
It's over
me
here,
give me a
right?
second to finish changing thumbnail thingy.
Got it.
Oh, did she put in the wrong stream key?
Yeah, she put in the wrong thumbnail.
Well, no, I didn't even put in the wrong stream key. I scheduled one of the streams wrong, so it pointed to the wrong one.
Mm. Hi. Thank you for the check-in, by the way.
Yeah. And then I can just delete that other one.
Okay, we don't need a flashlight, but we do need this.
There we go. That should be fixed now. All right, I am gonna hide over here. Go for the thing when ready.
Hold on, I'm just moving some bowling balls. Oh my god. Okay, hold on.
I want a bowling ball. All right, we got this, chat.
So much.
We got this. We got this together. I will survive. Oh God, was that a Slender Man?
Pushing the button. I'm pushing the button.
Push it, push it.
I was coming to check on you guys. I wasn't ready.
Occurred in our faction. Please don't panic. Personnel will activate the backup generators in a short time.
I'm gonna get the backup generators now.
Oh no, we got this. I have a bad feeling that me carrying these guys around is gonna be a problem. Oh, this is terrifying. No flashlight.
Attention, unexpected electrical problem has
Mama
been
Neka.
solved. You can continue to have fun with your family.
Oh, dang it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I don't know who's down or not.
Ah! Are you back?
Okay. Yep, I'm I'm back.
You're welcome. Do you think?
Thank you.
Were they also dead?
Probably.
You didn't see them in the death
In there,
screen?
though. Well, I was in the back rooms.
Oh, how did I get you out of the back rooms?
I don't know. Ah, frick, no, come on. I keep forgetting that dirt slows you down.
All right, you are
Alright,
late.
well, I'm back.
What the heck? Okay. All right.
Stairs to go. Waiting for other players. Quickly, quickly.
Get me the hell out of here.
Come on. Gene, please. Gene,
I'm coming.
please.
Let's go.
Come on.
What's your excuse? What's your excuse for being late, huh? What's your excuse?
I was juking that guy out on the table, and he was just running around the table back and forth for like a minute.
I've got a backup life.
Your keyboard is broken. Oh, how'd that happen, Scott?
I have nothing. I picked up no items.
Okay.
Oh my god. It's locked from
Well,
behind.
if you come over here, you can get empty bottles for 0 coins. That is kind of
Oh, thank
important.
goodness. What do you mean 0 coins? Oh,
Shoot. I kind of forgot to warn him about that, didn't I?
Oh, did you die?
You good? You back?
Okay, class is fine. Yes, class is justified.
Is that not?
Is that not him?
Okay.
But my turn. My turn.
Wait, are both of them dead? Wait, how did?
No, honey, I'm right here. Can you hear me?
I didn't even trigger that.
Kaida. Can Kaida not hear me?
What is going on?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi.
Can you hear me,
Okay.
Kaida?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I've been talking this entire time. Could you not hear me for a while?
No, I couldn't.
That was weird.
I'm gonna leave this there. Who has empty bottles?
I don't
Why
know
did I
where
get
empty
sent to
bottles
the back
gone.
rooms?
Because you died.
Because you got caught by the bunny. The bunny caught you.
Where's the bunny?
I chased him off.
Wait, what? I literally just went up to the vending machine and like I just died.
Yeah, he was right
Yeah,
here.
what-
These things are getting out of hand. Who is doing this?
All right, they naturally spawn. They just do that. Now, do you have an empty
Why
bottle?
are there so many of them? Yes, I have an
You're
empty
on hard
bottle.
mode.
One of them is
Alright.
me.
There's an arrow over there.
Can you guess
You wanna
which one
throw
is
the empty
me?
bottle at that thing. I can't.
Wait,
Congratulations, you've set off the root Goldberg machine that releases
I think it's
the
you.
bowling ball over here.
How dare you?
no.
Oh, reborn
No, it's
machine.
you at the end. It's you at the end.
That was cool.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I don't have a horn, I don't have a horn, I don't have a horn.
Alright, so he's gone. Now, did he get the real Anarchy or not?
No, I'm still alive, I'm still alive.
Okay.
Oh. Well, now we have another skinwalker. 3-1, 3-1.
3131. Alright, frickin' if it'll let me put in the 3. 3.
Is there anything else in
that's
here?
the frickin'.
Oh my god, what is...
1. Okay, someone else put in the code. I can't with that thing. I don't know why I struggle with that so much.
Oh, because it's so badly tracked.
Yeah.
There you go.
Alright. Now we should have Monster coming in with us. Go over here. Grab that.
Wait, there's a monster?
Take
The
my list
guy
for
should
long.
be coming
Exactly,
upstairs
exactly.
Shortly.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go crazy.
This way. Come on.
Oh yeah, no. You're kind of SOL'd. I'm sorry.
Oh, there's
I wish you the best of luck,
spiders in
Sakona.
here. Oh no, that's a cockroach.
Oh, yay, cockroaches.
How did you?
La cucaracha, la cucaracha.
It is funny to know that this game has reactive voice stuff like that.
At least they can't follow us in here.
Would think. Alright.
Why am I stuck? Why can't
La
I-
vaca, moo, la vaca. Ooh, a collectible.
Who wants to get the saw over here?
To get the saw?
Yeah, there's a saw.
Well, I want a saw.
Go
Chat,
saw
I
the
saw a
doors then.
saw. What do I do with it?
Yeah, go saw the planks on the door. Aniki, you're pushing this with me.
It's saw time.
Or Aniki's not. Yeah, much is gone.
I'm so glad that's auto steered.
Yeah, I thought
You
I
want-
was doing that for a second.
Guys, on your right. That's where he's gonna be coming up.
Okay.
Should be coming up.
What do we do about that?
Cry in a corner.
Push far enough. We're basically just gonna have to juke him. There he is. All right.
I once saw a saw.
That's me, crying in the corner.
They can't put this around here.
Ah! 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 Ah!
I need you. Let's wait a second though. Let's make sure he's properly out before we do that. Alright. Hold one.
Can something kill you in the back rooms?
Yes, something can kill you in the back rooms. It made my head explode.
Oh, hey, look! I see some big feet.
He's gonna be coming in, giving us attention now.
Why did you knock me down? What the heck? No, not again! That's me in the spotter. That's me in the spotlight.
And run, 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 run.
I'm very good at getting
Should
hurt.
be safe in here. Is that Anarchy? I'm gonna res and hope that I get Gene up again.
That's me in the corner.
Alright. So good news, this is a safe room.
Bad news. Anaki's not here.
One Anaki's not here. And the other guy.
I'm here. I'm just not
okay.
sure where I'm going.
Oh god, I'm dead.
All right. Okay.
Well, alright, we need to find another res for Anarchy. And we are currently kind of blocked in this place because he's right at the door.
Okay, what if I take the hit so you can escape?
I think I would rather have you on,
Twerking duty?
on frickin', yeah, push the thing.
Twerking.
No, not twerking,
Twerking,
but
got it.
frickin'.
Wait, I got this. I got this.
We've got both of them here. Actually, I'm wondering, can I get their attention and then just have you juke past them? Because they don't like sound, so if I just spam sound, they're probably fine. Oh, frickin' hell, what the hell am I seeing now? I've never seen the game do this, I don't know what's going on.
What's happening?
I am hallucinating hard. I'm seeing eyes and such. Alright, you make a run for it. I'm gonna see if I can keep their attention on me.
Okay.
we have some of the soul sanity issues though, so I'm just gonna try and keep them on it.
Oh, got it.
Got it? Okay.
Aniki's back.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue there.
Did you miss me, Aniki?
I do.
Nice.
Okay, interesting.
Keida. You alive? Probably not. Keida. How dare you be late?
I was in fact not alive.
I tried to resurrect you at last second.
Worked.
Yay! Yay!
Alright, so we need to use Zordy at the exit door. I need a thingy. I need an air horn.
I need a lot of things.
We need an air horn. We've got guy.
I don't have one.
Mel, where's an air horn?
That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion. I dodged him. I don't know what's happening. Bowling ball. Got it. Please don't be a hole.
Push this.
What are you pushing?
I'm gonna use life thing, because I'm assuming Aniki got downed. Aniki?
Ow.
Welcome back.
Yep.
Hello, Tanny. Hello, Tanny. That's
Pushy, pushy, pushy. Pushy, pushy, pushy.
why are you so pushy?
Now we've got guys coming for us. Surprised they actually stayed that far away. Yep, they're coming around the corner. Ready to loop them.
Got the one?
There it is. We're gonna have to ring around Erosium.
I think I got.
For a second.
That's me in the corner. Oh, he's coming for me.
Someone's on me.
That's me in the spotlight, losing. Oh, cool.
That was not me.
But I don't know if I can do it. Oh no, I said too much. I haven't said enough.
Back up. That's great.
I got down. Help! Escape! Leave me! That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight. Losing my religion.
Very good attack. Alright, we've got gas can here, collectibles.
Man, I got dragged.
Last tire.
You know,
Hopefully.
I've never been called boss before. I kind of like it. Call me boss more, chat.
What are we missing? Which tire? I have a tire.
I have a tire too. We have all four.
Okay, then
Gas can. We need gas can. We need gas.
gas can, got gas can. Gas can.
Doors opening.
Button.
Opening door. Opening door. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready.
There we go.
Okay, what do we do? Do we get in the car?
I drive it. I'm driving. It won't let me drive.
Wait a second, guys. You gotta be dramatic. We gotta wait.
It won't let me get in the car.
Do I get in the back?
No, we've legit gotta be dramatic and wait.
Oh, it just wants. Okay. No! 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 Don't do the stupid. Keys don't work.
No, they work.
Put house key in it. Oh shit, wrong key. Puts finger in there. That's not working either. I can't figure it out yet. My first time driving a car, guys. I'm sorry.
Why did you put Gene behind the wheel?
Reverse, right? You said reverse? The parking brake's still on.
Zort's like, Jane? Zorta Jean?
It's almost Gene's name.
That's my name, chat. Zortagene. I'm sorry, I can't believe I've never told you guys my full name, but it's actually Zortagene.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Is that why you're so good at this game?
Yeah.
Danny, what am I fixing?
I have this one plan. I have this one plan of just, grab a res and throw it. One of you's probably dead. And it worked!
Yeah, that is basically it. Hey, Danny, quit setting your kitchen on fire.
Set mine on fire instead. Ah.
What?
Danny set their
What's
kitchen
going
on
on
fire again.
Ow!
What kitchen? This kitchen?
Tanny's kitchen. Tanny set their kitchen on fire again.
Oh.
Kaida.
Yes, just
Let's
called the
go.
cat.
I'm impatient.
Got it.
Ow.
Take me to the next one.
Alright. To the next.
Woo! Why is Gene driving?
I am
Don't
not
ask
gonna
why
tell you
Gene
how-
drives.
Need to get a look at luck.
I am the wolf on this screen that is loading, by the way.
Danny, this is not a good time to hydrate.
Hydrate right now.
Ow!
I'm grateful you saved me from that factory. You saved my life. I owe you my life.
6 hydrates.
Now I'm going to murder you. There was a car talking to us.
What? Why?
We saved the van, but now it ran out of gas again.
Vanetta. That Vanetta is her name. Oh my god. Cat has a car. Cat, you're a
Ready
car.
to die? I'm not a car.
Cat, how'd you-
a car, but
how
I'm
do you-
not.
Vroom vroom.
Cat, I have a question for you. Okay, vroom vroom.
Yeah, run.
Vroom 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 vroom. Vroom. Vroom 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 vroom.
Come on.
Why are you responding to my vroom questions?
Because I'm not a car.
Vroom vroom.
Just run.
What if I drive? See, that's why I'm going faster, because I'm driving and you're not. Woo!
I think Danny keeps down, though I haven't heard of it a bit. Danny got run over.
Ah!
For other players? Alright. So Aniki did in fact get run over. We need to go res Aniki.
I believe. Oh, hey, look, a horn.
There's a horn, and also, do you notice the flashing light?
Oh, yeah, there's a flashing light.
Flashing light.
Hey, look, a car. Oh, check it out.
Aniki?
Nice. Yeah, I got ran over immediately. Why is there a landmine?
I don't have money.
There's... Let's look up.
Do you have money?
Wait, I thought I had money.
Oh, freaking hell. What the hell did I look at?
I don't like the noise that thing's making.
Okay.
He's cute.
Where'd it go? What was that?
I didn't think that would. Oh, there he is. Look at him.
Did you kill a child? Oh.
No. Whee.
Gene, he wants you to pick him up and hold him.
Okay. Ah!
Well, what's that?
Oh, he's coming back! No, he's gone. He's entered the void.
Come on. He will come back eventually. We should probably start actually looking for stuff.
What are we looking for?
All around me or from me.
Hang on, where's the
Ball!
entrance to this thing again? Welcome back.
Come here, ball.
Oh,
Is that collectible? That looks like a collectible. That looks like a Mama Neko.
All his life.
there we go. Got one hoop.
Wait,
How do you need to
we-
get?
Oh my god.
I'm just having fun.
Oh.
I'm gonna tell you guys all the things.
How do we get out of here?
Rejected!
What is this? Is there a thing here?
Rejected.
There's a TV.
There's a hoop here. If we get out the way we came in.
What do we do with this? What was that?
The ball again. You coming, Anarchy?
Woo!
He's back for more. Wait, is he gonna hit a landmine?
Ball. Shall we be balling?
Careful about the landmine at the door.
Balling.
Oh, a little crazy.
Just say. That is definitely getting clipped later.
So how'd you do with that landmine?
Did we even get him back?
I don't know, but I think he...
I don't know.
No, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna try again. Get you back this time? No.
He's in the
Okay.
back rooms. Jingle, jingle, jingle.
There we go.
Back
I
rooms.
healed myself.
Is that what the ramen does?
Yeah, ramen heals you. And yeah, I have a lot of mom sentences. That is very common for me. Let's see, what do I want to play? I think I'll stick with my violin.
I played the best instrument.
Anarchy again or not?
Ah!
They're up there.
I mean, like, do we need... Yeah, I only beat box.
Useful.
Ooh, keyboard!
I'm trying to ride the Anarchy again. Well, one of them hit a landmine. I think I took a bit of damage from that.
It was Anarchy.
I'm just gonna use the life again. I think Anarchy's still dead. You back yet?
Hello!
I have no idea.
Chat, we're learning this game together.
That's July.
Here we go.
Alright, let's go downstairs, everyone. Come on, downstairs.
Right, sorry, I'm coming.
You even know where she is, though.
Wow.
He's somewhere here, I guess.
Seen anyone here in a long time. What brings you here?
No, he's still dead.
Anyway, no need to drag this out.
Anarchy,
I
you
don't
back?
understand your language. I can get you
Yeah,
out of here.
I never died.
You can take the
Oh,
elevator.
we've been trying to resurrect you for a while.
I was throwing bottles at landmines.
What? Where's there a lot of
Hurry
people?
up. Something.
What are you waiting for?
not
Get in
a lot
the
of people.
elevator.
Oh.
Okay. Wait, do we have to do what he says?
Do you want to get out of here?
Technically, you don't.
What
You don't have to do anything. You can close out the game and then not play. that's the delusion of choice.
Morning, get in the elevator.
Okay, I don't like that how that TV's talking to us.
He called me smelly. I don't know if you all heard it, but he said I stunk.
Why is there noise?
You smell like McDonald's.
I do not. A little bit.
I tricked you. Do you think it could be that easy? Look around. There's a strange quantum elevator. It needs a powerful energy source to work. Normally I wouldn't help you, but I'm starting to warm up to you. If you go to the 3 cabins around here and start the generators, you can supply the energy. Be nice to my neighbors' houses.
Off to the neighbors.
Dang, boss, you smell like McDonald's. Rude.
Which one are we starting with?
Quest time. Let's go this way.
That way?
We are heading on an epic quest. Chat, I need one of you to write me a song for this. Right now. Write me lyrics. Very important.
What?
We're starting with this one. This one's fun.
Hey, a rat. Oh.
I got this.
Alright.
The music makes me. Oh, it's a Slender Man. Did you die?
Why are we being gassed?
To be clean.
Cleansed. I'm just gonna stand back and watch this. I now have strawberry vanilla gummies that are delicious. They're sour too.
Are you going crazy?
Probably a little bit.
You want the Rubik's Cube?
Ah. The government's weakness. The government official car weakness is a net.
What is he talking about?
The car's weakness is a net. That is just legit in the game.
Wait, what are these numbers?
Wait, you guys haven't seen the car yet.
I'm so confused. Okay,
There
there's
are
number
numbers.
4. Yes.
Yeah, what color is it on again?
Blue 4. Okay, 1 is
See
pink.
yellow 2.
1 is pink. Green 3.
Yellow 2.
One green.
No. One is
Yellow
one is
2.
pink. One is pink. One is pink. Yellow 2. 3 green.
2.
4 blue.
Hang on. Red, yellow, green, blue. There we go.
Did you get it?
It's granted. We're still missing a button. There's a button up there that you need to hit.
Oh. You sure?
Is that not the red flashing light up there?
I have to actually hit the computer.
Thank you.
It's no button.
Hey, look at all this stuff.
Alright, time to res Gene. Good, Gene?
My guitar!
I love this game.
Okay.
I have returned. No one can keep me down.
What are we doing?
Other players at the door. I was so used to doing that one last, but I...
Oh my god, 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 oh my god.
In here.
Ah!
Wait, why is it in the wall? You okay?
Oh, he's still alive. He's still playing music. Oh, he's got in there, though. anything to eat? There it is, I hear it.
Come in here, in here.
Hello. They never knew that I was too powerful for them.
Is it still hitting landmines over there?
I
Yes.
think so. Let me.
Hey, look, it's Slenderman.
I think we still have to go to the other houses, so we're just gonna have to do our best.
It's coming.
Let's give it one more try in here. See if we can lure it in here. Nah, I don't think it's gonna follow us in here yet.
It's not cool enough.
Okay, which direction do we go?
That way.
There are red lights in the
Follow
distance.
me.
Oh my God! What the?
There's the giant.
Hello, toes. Jumping around.
You guys good? Come on, let's head towards that one over there.
I love your addition.
We've got a car coming.
It doesn't know that I'm too fast and I'm too suave. I slide right away from dangers. You cannot stop me.
Alright, that's the bull hitting the landmine there.
That poor little ball. You'll never see him.
We gotta get in here quick. Ah,
I have entered the back rooms, chat. I must defeat death. Together. Death will not stop us, because I have 9 lives now. For I am... the Pussy Boots. We have this together. We will survive. We have found the escape. They took my guitar! Oh. Hey, for the follow, Eliminate Fox. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just as I should be, twerking. Oh, he got air! He's airborne! Bring it around town! Okay, if I remember right, I made it here before, right? Okay, so that means... somewhere is my guitar. I mean, the way I'm supposed to be going. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, I have a solution. It's not gonna be as good. But, there we go. Got what I needed. Y'all, this is about to lay down the sickest hip-hop beat on this side. Let's go there! Alright, my guitar should be here. Do you think they went in here? Hello? What if they died? What if they died? Oh no, I'm tiny. Do 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 ba da ba 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 na 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 na. How's it feel? You know, it feels exactly like you must be feeling most of the time, right? Like this is how you all feel on a daily basis? Na 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 na. Well, what? Honestly, I feel like I'm gonna suffocate. Like, all I can smell is stank feet and farts. One of the worst things. I mean, all I smell down here is stank feet and farts. What the heck? What's going on? Oh, frick! No! Was it the stank feet and farts comment? Jesus! Oh God! Oh, I don't know what's happening! Okay. Look, I promise you, short people aren't that bad. I know it just must suck because you can't reach anything on high shelves. And honestly, you're probably starving when you try to eat cereal because you can't reach it. Ah!
It is me!
Oh, so you guys did die.
You were allowed in here because we were both dead, so we need to find one more for Anarchy.
Okay.
Let's see, is there any others in here? That's collectible.
Please put the Reese's Puff on a lower shelf. Did you hear me yelling?
I heard you yelling about the place smelling down there.
Yeah, because they were asking me about like how it is to have like being short. Is the air better? And I said, well, it smells more like farts and feet.
All right, so we've got that one. Okay, so all of them have the thing, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Where is another res for Anarchy though?
We'll find one. Oh wait.
I don't think that sells res.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does. All right.
Did you know each of the buttons show something different?
Hang on. Yes, I do. Before you use that, oh, never mind. I was gonna say raise your sanity so you have a better chance of getting Anarchy.
Oh, I already said.
Anarchy? Woo!
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't need to do
Wait,
that.
so if we're insane, we can't res each other?
You have a higher chance of, or I was assuming you have a higher chance of getting a skinwalker instead of a friend.
Oh, hey.
Wait, is that why I res twice? And like, so I could have res you twice. I was just so crazy I couldn't.
I think so. I think that's what happened. I'm not 100% sure though.
Bruh, I was. Man,
Did you bring?
One of you exploded. Whoever got hit by the car in there exploded when I saw you die.
I exploded. That was me.
Oh, I think we both. I don't know how I died, but I lost my guitar. Did either of you grab my guitar?
No. I need
No,
to go
it's
back
probably in
and
that
get
house.
my
We still need to
thing.
go back there though.
It's fine. I'll just do beep boop beep 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 boop 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 beep boop bop.
It's the last one with the red light above it, so we shouldn't get too confused this time.
Hopefully, I'll find my guitar. Until then, we're just gonna have to bump hip hop jams.
Oh, shoot. I don't have an air horn.
Over here.
Problem, I don't have an air horn. Oh, okay. Need to find another res.
Here we go! Juked! this. Woo!
Come on, Dean.
No. Help me!
Come on, get in here.
I was stuck. It wouldn't let me move. I was trying to move.
Button. Button.
I got what was important
Still
though.
up? Button. Good. There's another resin there to get Anarchy up.
Leave the ball open, Calico.
What do I have a random Rubik's Cube to help with my sanity?
I lost my Rubik's Cube. Oh, hey, look, Rubik's Cube.
I put Zort. There we go. Hopefully that's Anarchy up.
I'm back!
Wait, come get the flute. Come get the flute.
Yeah, you're gonna want an instrument. We're starting to see zombies, and they hate noise.
Got the flute. Wait, can play the instrument keep the zombies away? Oh, I kept trying to use a horn.
I mean, the horn does work too, but the instrument's better.
My name is Keidacat. I'm Keidacat.
Oh, very nice.
I'm Keidacat.
All right, I'm gonna load data from the theater.
All right. Together, we will make it.
Got that.
We will defeat them all. I would love to watch TV.
Oh, yeah, you let me watch TV.
We can all watch TV together.
Of course, Adam. Freaking almost called Adam Anarchy.
Don't move.
Okay.
While praying.
I don't pray. I'm not very religious.
Praying.
Oh.
Got it. I'll pray for you.
What? Well, praying.
Don't ruin it.
Praying. Oh God, there's
Train is, 1?
Ave Maria.
Come on, we gotta be on the ring.
One of you is holding the same spot.
Just keep in mind, there's only 3 of us.
Yeah, no, I think
Yeah.
they gave us a skinwalker to hold the other spot. Yeah. There we go.
Oh, there's a Slender Man right there. Like that.
Miss you, cat.
She is the chosen one. The prophecy
Hail
foretold.
Satan!
3169.
Oh, the demon's like, haha, I'm gonna give you numbers instead of like, you gotta, why do we have nerd demons? Nerd demons get into your soul being like, here's the numbers, here's the square root of pi.
Ooh, money.
Right. Definitely want to collect extra life as well.
We should res Anarchy.
I'm right here.
Anarchy's up.
We should res Anarchy.
I'm alive.
Alright, Anarchy, do you want to open the door?
Yeah, sure.
Don't forget your flute. Where's the violin?
I need other
Yeah!
people.
Oh, I have a southern voice for Deem, apparently. Ah! Goddamn chat, we got this. Let's go. Hell yeah. Get netted, nerd.
Stop it with the net.
Oh god, he took the net off. That's illegal.
What are we gonna do now, guys?
Yellow card. Rev.
Oh!
Man.
Let me out. God damn it. I want out. I want out. There we go.
Vanetta, I'll never forget you.
Who has face?
I do. What do we need?
Shut up.
This.
there.
All right, chat, let's get it.
Back to the main house.
Together, you and I
Wrong way. That way.
will make it to the ends of the world, fighting giants, tall men, and other evils.
All right, hydrating.
Oh, you can like
Find
direct the
hydrating.
songs at them.
Hit that trampoline.
You can aim
All
at
right.
them.
We're fighting tall men.
You're not gonna fight the tall man.
All right, we're gonna beat the tall man,
Serenade
chat.
him.
We're gonna kiss his toes. I mean, we're gonna kick his toes. We got this. Together, you and I, we're gonna make it.
Where's Andy?
I'm here.
We do not hate tall people. We love tall people.
Go downstairs.
Downstairs, downstairs.
Where are we
Downstairs.
Why are you still here? Go to the nearby houses right now and get those generators running. Oh my god, what just happened? I heard some strange noises. Wait, is that the heart of that thing in your head?
Oh,
God, this is an incredible energy source.
yeah, we got it.
Use it to get you all out of here. But
Why are you
first,
bumping
we
me
need
like
to
this?
charge it. That's it. I have an idea. Push me up to the roof.
What?
Gotta get him to the roof, because he has an idea.
My friends and I are heading to the roof. Yeah.
I don't like this guy. Elric.
Hey,
I mean, he's calling us
why don't you
friends.
put your hands?
Gotta make sure you play the instruments, the most important part.
Dusty up here.
Airhorn's an instrument.
That takes it. My friends and I are heading to the roof.
What's this?
That's it. Now attach that reactor to my back.
Wait, there's the keyboard.
I need a high level of sound.
You can't
Do you guys like
take
Gravity
it.
Falls?
Hey,
I
you
do
two
like Gravity
robots,
Falls.
grab
Why?
those instruments over there. Well, let's make some music, baby. To the strange black creatures, this song is a gift from me and my new friends. And also this thing on my back looks like that heart belongs to your friend. Oh shit, they're coming.
Stop him back. Did someone die already? Okay, everyone's here. Oh, it's
You're
here.
wrong. Nothing on here.
There you go, chat. We got this. Through the power of music and friendship, we too can defeat them. Hold them back.
Where am I right now? I can interact with them, but I am like half dead or something.
Yeah, no, they hurt you. They'll hold you in place. Come on, step on back.
No, like I don't. Okay, there we go. I do have my inventory again.
I'll grab it to the flute.
What's going on?
Yeah. All right, we got this.
It was a heart with wings. Might have been the same shaped like a heart, but still a heart with wings.
It looks like a snake.
It's an ear.
Is it here?
Yeah, that's why it's getting hurt by the sound.
Oh, right. We need bottles.
We need what?
Bottles. Do you see the guys in the balloons? You guys got one? Come on, I am a terrible shot with these. Is that all of them?
I know. I don't know.
One somewhere.
Oh, there's more down the back this morning.
is near.
Demon! All you gotta do is hit him in green and you hit him.
Apparently, my freaking shriek thing was loud enough to startle it.
Nah, the tall man's on our side.
You can kick them off.
You're gone. Behind you. Careful there.
Thank you, thank you. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing.
Do you see why it feels like Gravity Falls?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. This is an insane game.
What are we even doing?
We're fighting off sound monsters with music while we charge the power core so that we can travel into the quantum universe.
We need to charge the battery for the elevator,
this
so we're
is-
fighting off zombies with music.
Yep.
What?
Zort? This is Zort. This is Zort.
We did it.
Stop, everyone.
Are we K-pop demon hunters?
Take this reactor and attack.
We are. We've saved the Hanmon or
Here
whatever.
and enjoy the view.
All right, we've saved Honeymoon. I don't know who that is. I haven't seen Demon Hunters. Honeymoon or whatever. The Huntrix. Is that like a dominatrix Huntrix?
No, that's the Demon Hunters.
The Demon Hunters are dominatrixes? This is a much weirder movie than I've seen.
This thing's like Tony Stark's like core thing.
It is 100% that. It's an arc reactor. Oh, wow.
This is just a compilation of references and memes, honestly. It's great.
Oh. Did Keidacat crash? Hello? Hey, did y'all crash? Hello?
Got booted.
That was a mistake.
What happened?
There we go. I've invited them back.
Okay. Okay, so did who crashed?
That was me.
What'd
that
you do?
was not a crash.
Did you close out the game?
I Alt F4.
Wow, how did you fat finger Alt F4 accidentally?
I was trying to do one of the emotes.
Oh, you did the did we? Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. I'm glad your stream didn't crash.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Just game close.
Hey, cat.
Yeah. Yeah, I deserve that.
Yeah.
Luckily,
Imagine
we beat
doing
the
this.
level. You just missed the teaser for the next one, which we're just gonna go there.
Could you imagine being able to do this?
Let's go.
Could you imagine being able to do that? How's Shaq doing, by the way? How's everybody going?
Or something.
Everyone good still? Mwah. Me when me.
I've got normal difficulty. This might be significantly easier. We'll see.
Race the covers high.
What are they looking at?
Yeah, cat? You want to run that one by me again? Because I was cannon! Ah!
Oh no.
I know, they're all short like you, chat. They're the same height.
Oh, it's like a pea shooter.
Together, hoist the colors.
Are we playing Peak? Is this Peak?
It's Peak!
Sweet game.
This game is Peak. I refuse to fight the tall man. I am the tall man. Stop trying to fight me. Where's Bing Bong? Where's Bing Bong? Where's Bing Bong?
Bing bong. Oh,
Good court.
Bing bong.
Bing Bong!
Map.
Bing Bong!
Oh,
Me. You okay?
Map.
I think so. But there's a crab. Bing bong.
Bing Bong!
Crab?
I can't
Crab.
touch him.
Crab over here too.
Crab there.
Yellow creep.
I assume we're supposed to go over here, because this is where the map is telling us to go.
Yeah, but what about secrets?
I don't know.
Yeah, what about secret? Secret tunnel. Secret
Thing
tunnel.
over here.
In the mountain. You can't turn in your 2 weeks just because we're not fighting tall people, okay?
I see islands.
I found a gas can. Oh, and I
Oh,
found a turtle.
nice. Turtle!
Help.
I found a ship.
Wait, what?
You want to help me with the boat?
What's you wedding?
I need to hit the boat. Come hit the boat with me.
Listen to the turtle.
I think I'm dying.
Oh, it's that thing. Oh.
Yeah, okay.
I thought the turtle was moaning. I was like, what is going on?
Oh, this is Raft.
Wait.
Hit the boat with me. Thank you.
Can we patch?
Anybody got wood?
Oh my god, are you humans? I haven't seen a human in ages.
I don't know if I'm human.
Me when I'm not human.
I'll get
Fixed
back to you.
it.
Nice. I have
We
a
need
back
more than
one.
one?
I have 2 cans.
Welcome back, Silver Bang Rose.
I only have
Welcome.
one. I only see one.
I think we're good.
I think that's fine.
Where
Okay,
do
what, did we
gas?
click on her?
Wait.
Put the heart thingy in.
Thank you.
And then gas can.
Thank you. If you hadn't helped, I would have died.
Why she like kind of like got a face to her?
Why she kind of
Wheel
fine though?
controls
Why she...
boat at in. Okay, wheels control
I'm
boat. Got it.
Rosa. Nice to meet you. The wheel
Do you know
control-
Tellerica?
So we go wherever the wind takes us. I
Little
don't know what
Raft
kind of
is the
power
new
source you
monster.
gave me, but it's incredibly strong. Anyway, let's get out of this cursed place. I've been stuck here for months.
I like
Real.
her.
You know, at least no mimics here, right?
Maybe? I don't know. I've not played this one before. Oh, that's stop. That's okay. We only have to manually drive when she's damaged, is what I understood.
Oh no, driving is currently damaged. We do, so we're going where the wind takes us.
Okay.
We have a sail though. Couldn't we just lower the sail and then like figure it out from there?
No.
Yeah, we can't work the sail. I think it's broken too.
What is that?
God, I thought it was a sea monster. That was close.
Oh, it's
This sea
literally
monster is
just
cruel beast feared by
broken
everyone
things.
around here. Many have suffered.
Just looks like an upside down boat.
Oh, we're
This
sinking.
is a PG-13 stream.
Oh yeah.
We're not sinking.
You know, this is very colorful for a horror game.
Oh, it went away.
Yeah.
Shh.
Is there seriously nothing we're supposed to do here?
Maybe we should go in the water.
No, I think it just says we're going where the wind takes us, and we have the option of going forward, and that's it.
I guess we're going to this lighthouse then, because that's straight in
so.
front of us. I think we just lay down and enjoy the view.
It's more of just a game.
I don't know.
Game.
This game's been so stressful up until this point. This is peaceful.
It is very peaceful.
It's too peaceful.
Is
Hey, look, a boat.
the boat over there?
I don't see
Gang,
anything.
gang.
We seem to be drifting away from the lighthouse.
Ah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's a lever. What do we do with the lever?
It goes
just
forward or
stops
it
us.
goes back.
Oh. Wait, maybe we were supposed to stop it and then get off and see what that monster was, because I bet it was like a boat.
All right, it's too late now. I think we're going to that island.
Yeah, we can't go back.
I do-
Guys, I think help is coming.
There we
Over
go.
there.
Did something? Where are we looking though?
Oh shit.
No, pirate
guys,
ship.
pirates.
Got the scent of fear!
I don't think
Oh.
it's
This isn't Raft. This is that other game.
Hello.
What's the game with pirates?
Rick, what was that game?
Little Raft.
No, the game with the
No, not that
pirates.
one. The game where you play as pirates.
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, Sea of
that
Thieves
one.
now.
The one that I just kept
I
fishing in.
see! We play by my rules!
Alright, we're gonna beat the pirates somehow.
Who came to be prey?
Oh.
There's sharks in the water.
The boat! Push them off the boat!
Tell me on the boat. I can't get on the boat.
Matt! Looks like that wasn't enough! Full crew! Attack!
No, you dare push me off. Okay, got that one off. There's one more. This guy.
I never
Yeah,
played
got
Sea of
that.
Thieves. Yeah, it's Pirate 101. It's Puzzle
not me.
Pirate.
No, not me!
Shit! Who the hell are you to wipe out my entire crew? It's time I play my final card! Call in Blind John!
He's got a guitar. It's not fair.
John.
Oh, shoot. No, you gotta push him.
Where are you in? Please! Don't hurt me!
Well done, guys. Check the ship. Grab anything useful.
I would love to. How are we supposed to do that? Oh, ladder?
Wait, what? I tried going up that before.
Let me go!
Did you just send...
I was only
Oh,
joking!
no, there he is. Why are you already on this?
Gonna mock me back on.
He knows what he wants.
Please don't do this!
Do it. Do it.
What
Do
a
it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
No!
Treasure.
Well done, guys. Check the ship. Grab anything useful.
Money.
Why is the robot our de facto captain at this point?
Well, you know, I don't expect much from us.
Maybe that's fair.
Guys, let's keep moving.
Can we, why are we thinking about,
Uh-oh. Come on.
we could have taken the pirate ship. Why did we not take, okay.
That's why.
Grab it?
Because it sinks.
Well, yeah. Why did it sink, though?
Communism. Capitalism. Any isms. Autism.
And Pebbles, I agree. She is cute. I will stand by that.
We could have taken her on the boat.
Could have. Actually, I don't know. I don't think I could lift her.
It's because you're not
Were you trying
strong
to
enough.
lift?
The girl. We're trying to pick up this woman.
Hang on. Do you have any good pickup lines? Maybe we could try that.
Okay. With your legs, not your back. Thank
You've
you.
exceeded my expectations.
You did not have a lot of
My
expectations for
were
me.
not very high.
Wow.
But that
Wow, rude. My heart, my emotions, my feelings.
Hey guys, look at my new robot wife.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to look at that.
My new robot wife. So
It was
lonely
funny.
at sea.
Lonely,
You've got multiple people here. I can pretty much guarantee that regardless of which way you swing, it's covered.
Ow.
Tella Rosa is my soulmate.
Is it?
No.
Could be.
Yeah,
I'm so lonely. I have nobody. Oh, I guess we're going over here.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, I want to be
Is this the new world, by the way?
Hold me, like Titanic.
Hang on.
Wait.
Be very careful with this so I don't ult F4 again.
I'm pretty sure that's not how Titanic went. It did just like start twerking.
Do you
think we can get out and go to the island over there, or do we wait for like to crash into it or something, or what are we doing here?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Near, far, wherever you are.
Draw me, Squirrel Jack.
Why are they shouting?
They were pirates.
Oh, they're shooting us. They're shooting us.
Pirates.
We're invading your country.
We don't have eye patches. We're the good guys.
We're invading.
Not invading. Don't listen to him.
They do love us. Oh, I thought that was a picture of poop. I thought they were the poop kingdom. Ah!
Oh my god, that scared me.
If you're on the front burner, what would you
I
be
managed
doing?
to get snowballed by my chat right when one of you pushed me, so I thought it affected me in game for a second. Alright, guess we're just going.
Oh wait, no. It says everybody has to be on the raft to move forward.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, we're safe. We got it here. It's fine.
Near.
Over here.
Better raft.
Naku.
Oh, what is this?
Aku.
Oh.
They're harmless.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, does it just send us back to the raft?
Yeah, it just sends us to the raft.
What's this timer do?
Alright then.
Ami Naku.
Josh.
They're the only friends I have in this land. Then again, are they even smart enough to be friends? Hard to say. The only thing I know for sure is they are harmless. Content in their world? Content in their world. Their king, though, I don't know. Maybe ignorance really is bliss. They have a small brain. What is this?
This way.
Going over there is save. This way is door.
Near, far, wherever
Hello.
you are.
Empty bottles.
Hi. Bottles.
Can only have one. This guy's got a Rubik's Cube. Thank you.
Nom nom nom.
Oh, I found a red.
I stole his Rubik's Cube.
There's on him. Let's see. We've got ores over here.
Monster of the lake.
Apples and... Why are you in the basket of fruit? Yeah, they really are ignorant. Oh, she moved out of it. Okay, she's good.
School buses.
I want a school bus.
Oh, Reses.
Yeah, I've got one of them on me. I could probably grab another one.
Ow.
Flexible.
What's over here? Cheese and bread. Video games. Oh my god, there's video games.
Instead of using the donkey, he just keeps throwing carrots in front of the donkey.
There's a video game station over
Farm.
here.
Video game?
Yeah, Zort 2 and Zort 3.
Ah, very cool. We've got, please don't fart. Hang on. So what if we do that then?
Are you farting?
I don't seem to care. And... Got work in there. Tried to red someone.
I wanted a friend.
Ah, okay.
They didn't give me one.
Where's Aniki?
I'm in the building.
In what building?
The school in the middle.
School in the middle. All right, I'm heading over there.
It says sea monster danger. Run, hide.
Massacre at a
danger.
birthday party.
There's nothing in there. What's this building?
Let's get to the farm. Farm.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the farm, Anarchy.
Can't go up there.
Oh, hang on. There's the king. He's either eating a lot of bread or he's full of hormones. Not quite sure either way. He's quite content with the
Anima John.
Donkey!
build himself since so much.
Donkey.
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 Okay.
I died.
Actually, does sound pretty interesting.
Interesting.
This is great.
Hey, it's your stuff. Oh. You dead?
Oh.
You're dead.
Okay, so getting kicked by a donkey apparently kills you. There we go, I'll res them.
Someone's chasing you.
Hi. Oh, I got a paper. The lake monster took another. The latest victim was a child. The village now speaks in whispers. Another person tried to eat a hamburger with a fork. And a villager accidentally turned on her camera during a late call.
Oh god, go ahead.
All right, it's time to go to the lake, I guess. I guess we're going to the lake.
How do we get there?
You sure?
Back to the lake where we were at before.
Can we not just get on a donkey?
Oh, we do.
Oh, the donkey kicked me.
Well, you gotta not mount them from the back.
Well, it's not my fault they are mount. I don't know. Shush. I'm a win. Let's go.
Mama Neko. Oh, it's him.
Mama Neko.
I don't have any carrots though.
Yeah, I don't have any carrots either.
Well,
Okay.
he's about to blow up.
Oh, that is
my
one
God,
of mine,
is he-
isn't it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, all right.
They aren't smart.
Oh, we got some.
Yeah, we've got a whole basket of them. Now we gotta do our best to not hit landmines.
Do you think can you hit the landmines with these? You think?
Probably. I'm scared. I don't wanna. Shoot, okay, I will hydrate again. There we go.
There we go.
Who the frick litters the path to the farm with landmines?
Who makes this the only way to steer donkeys?
I think they just don't know how donkeys work.
They're like horses.
Do you expect
dumber.
these guys to understand how anything works?
Oh, well, I mean, like, fair enough, but also, like, why don't we?
I mean, given all that we've seen and how much we've gone insane recently, I'm gonna give us a pass.
Welcome, Jibbits.
Man, we didn't blow up. I was hoping we'd blow up.
I got it.
How do we get
Didn't
off?
blow up.
I got this.
It's mud. Don't
I can't
go
go
down
back.
there.
Ah!
What the heck? How did we manage that? I am cat, not car.
All right, car, come on, let's go.
Not car. Hey God, I've
Can you
got
come,
right.
come on, Honda Civic? We need you.
Not car, come on. Not car, come on.
Come on. Get the name
Honda
right,
Civic,
and then I'll
get
go
in
over
here.
there.
All right.
Honda Civic either.
Cart.
No, not cart. Come
Go kart. Come
Great.
on, we need you.
on. I'm not a go-kart either.
Crate.
Okay, I'll go with crate.
Yay!
I was about to call you Mario Kart next.
I'm glad you didn't. Yeah, mother would have also been acceptable.
All right, mother.
Oh.
Weren't we supposed to watch that?
Oh yeah, let me turn the TV back on.
Nothing.
I don't like this channel. I'm just gonna stop real quick.
Big noise. Nose.
Huh?
Come
Oh,
on,
sorry.
Come on.
I just got my snacks. Let me watch my TV in
All right,
peace.
I got this.
I don't like this show. Just change it. We're gladiators.
What? What? What?
Oh. Okay. Ooh, a throne.
Okay, so we just have to squeeze them really good. Okay, let's go. Hey, mother, can you go squeeze him?
I'll try.
Oh, he's tiny.
That's a baby.
He's got the crown.
It's a nerdy
Get
baby.
closer.
Ah!
Oh my god.
I
What
used
the
my
heck
bottle
is
too
that?
early. One of you can go for it.
Now you got it. Squeeze him. Give him a squeeze.
What's you?
Why? Okay, hit him in the knees.
Something to his legs.
I hit him. I hit him in the leg. You got hit for the legs. You
Now
gotta go
what
for the
about his
legs.
other leg?
I don't know.
Use
What
my
do you
bottle.
do?
Hang on,
Oh,
bottle here, bottle here. Yeah, use the bottles. Hit his legs.
Where are bottles?
Audience is gonna throw him.
It doesn't work while he's knocked out. What do we do? Throw bottles at him.
That
That
bottle
did
didn't work.
nothing.
His weak spot's only his knees, apparently.
Oh, so
Hold
he
on
gets
to the
dizzy
bottle,
after
don't use
that,
it right
and we
away.
just have to, yeah.
Yeah, he gets dizzy, then you hit him.
Okay.
Gotcha.
There we go.
What is this?
There's top in his belly.
That was interesting.
Yeah, we got
Is
it.
that too slow?
No, I got him. You one of. I think only one will be able to hit it.
I thought both of you hit him.
No, so I hit his tummy, and then you have to hit his crown.
Oh, I see.
I died.
Busy. You guys got bottles? Oh shoot, one of you did. Both of you might be, so I'm gonna do it again.
He's in the back rooms.
Bottle, there we go.
Shooba-dooba-doo.
There we go. Got both of them.
Run up, hit his stomach, hit his crown.
There we go.
Nice.
Crown. Got the bottle. I've still got 2 rises left on me.
Oh, he destroyed the thing.
Because we gotta get him to bring him out of that, bring it out again.
Stop hitting me, bro. Stop hitting me.
Who got a freaking boomerang?
I died.
Me, I did. I'm dead though. Will it be you or me? Will it be you or me? It's me.
Yes. We got it. GG.
Alright. We did it. Hey!
Look at all these roses.
I brought both of you back and killed him.
You're the champion, Car.
Cart, you did amazing. Nicotine cart.
Not it at all. Crown, good crown.
Where do we go? We go over here. Oh Oh, nice.
Huzzah!
What do we do?
Huzzah!
I have a feeling.
I have a feeling.
Shoot me!
You gotta shoot yourself. Alright, your turn.
Yay! Woo!
Hello.
Hello.
I did it.
Proud of you.
You know what this mattress reminds me of?
What?
A bunch of
I
poop.
do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Lapsed in car alarm.
Oh, thank you,
just
thank
spit
you,
out now?
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, I do laugh like a car alarm net. I know.
Can I get a bottle? No, I can't get a bottle.
I've been waiting here for 3 hours. What's going on in there? Wait.
It was not
what's
3
happening?
hours.
Why is that little purple guy coming at me? Ah!
Oh, he upgraded her.
Oh my god. He fixed my wheel and added new features.
Yay.
Thanks, little purple guy.
Am I still wearing the crown?
Yeah, little purple guy. Okay, we're going to another battle island. Oh, no, there's 2 battle islands.
Ah.
Am I still wearing the crown?
Yes.
Hey.
Invade their country!
Info. Crown, you're gonna have king.
EP. Stretch. Thank you.
That's just the new feature stuff. You defend from a distance with those cannons you guys are on.
Yeah. Cat, you get to be the captain.
I
Captain
should hope
Cat.
so. I'm king. Oh,
Captain,
oh.
my captain. I think you can steer now, though.
Yes, I can.
I did do a stretch. Stretch, let me hydrate.
But why can't I go forward? There we go.
Did you power it?
Oh, captain.
Yeah,
my
we're going forward now.
captain.
We're good. Now Captain Cat.
Captain Cart.
Cat.
Night, be good.
Oh, there's
Thank you,
people
thank
over
you.
there.
There is. We're not.
Wait, how'd you get out? What happened to you?
I disconnected.
Oh my
We're
goodness.
flying.
Can I get back in?
Yeah, you just gotta go at it.
Oh, it's space. Okay.
Gonna go towards this island over here.
Oh, there's like a little spring thing.
Yep, we can only
This is
go
very
so far.
disorientating.
Pull up the side of this one.
Oh,
This island doesn't seem important, but let's check it out anyway.
that may have been me.
Did you shoot our ship?
Yeah, let's get some wood to fix our ship, please.
Oh my god, no way. Do you know what this is?
Wood?
No idea.
Hey.
Oh wait, hang on. No, I do know
Oh,
what that is.
it's the thing that blew up.
Yeah, I'll be right
That
back.
imploded. Should I be concerned about that? I'll be right back.
No, one sec.
All right.
I don't see any wood on this island.
Hey, so, I'm getting called for my job. I may need to drop. Oh, sorry, I forgot to hold push to talk. I'm getting called for my job. I may need to drop. Because technically, with my contract, they're allowed to have me work on call. Yeah.
Ripperoni.
I do apologize. Yeah, I need to go figure out what this ticket is. I don't know if it's gonna be quick or if it might take a while. So, yeah.
Hydrate over here. Hopefully it's not too bad.
Yeah.
I hope. Do you want to take a second to look at it, or do you just want to straight drop and take care of it?
Give me a couple minutes here. You all continue on.
Okay, yeah.
And where I'll get on the ship.
Well, I think we're at a thing. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we can't go in there. What is this thing? Creature log updated. Just a bunch of question marks. That's fun. All right. Did you miss the paper that was outside? That was for the creature log.
I did not see it. What is it?
It's a face with a bunch of question marks.
Oh, hey, look, a snake guy.
Yeah. Sells stuff, apparently. We might need a boomerang, though.
I have one.
Okay, good. What is that? Eyes
Yes, don't lie.
Hang on, did you just read eyes as yes?
Oh, I didn't see the E. It says yeah. It's just okay.
Yes don't lie and eyes don't lie are two very different things. Oh, what is your
Eyes
favorite
don't
pastime, Adam? Oh, ad time on my end. Fair enough. Got an ad going now.
I'm going crazy.
Crazy? That's no good. Mark off both of those, but I assume.
Man, that 2X bounty looks like a Snickers bar.
2X bounty looks like a Snickers bar? Where?
Yeah, okay.
Here in the door.
It does look like I'm gonna have to drop.
Yeah.
I mean, they're saying something going on at one of the sites, so I need to go figure out what that is.
I wish you luck.
Thank you. I do apologize for this. I'll raid out to you.
Work comes first.
Yeah.
One
I feel
sec.
ya.
I will ping you later about questions we already discussed prior to stream.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. We'll wait for now.
Good playing.